our adaptation for our video system. So first of all, what I like to bring up with us is a piece of equipment that we bought off of Newegg on the 19th. So what we did is that we needed some sort of live shot thing, and so we finally got around to doing it on the 19th. And so we were trying to look for the cheapest thing possible, but like we were trying to look for other stuff of the sort. So we ended up falling on this, and it's been working very well so far. We actually did test last night and this morning. The indoor tests with including this bedroom here, which by the way is going to be which is our new studio. We'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah.
So basically this indoor test has run pretty darn well. It does have some pretty strong anti-interference, except when it gets close, when you put like your hand close to the transmitter, like especially on like a Wi-Fi congested band.
And in case you're wondering what this is even doing, we only have an old high 8 video camera
Over there, it's a Sony Handycam TRV-68.
Right, and the problem with it is we had no way of directly putting the information into the computer. So now Dominic researched this a little bit. I'm pretty proud of him for what he came up with. It's a pretty smart idea. He found some a transmitter and a receiver, and it actually the transmitter and receiver, they both are identical on both sides, and what it actually does is it will convert the video stream into a digital signal.
Well, it is more like analog.
It is still analog?
This is basically, for you people who don't know about this stuff, is that when we were doing infield tests, like, you know, with static, like, people who like were alive back in like the 2000s and were like were like teenagers and whatnot, and you get static in the signal and whatnot sometimes, especially during storms. That was an analog signal, but nowadays that the signal pixelates, and so like the pixelates and digital artifacts and whatnot, obviously that's a digital signal. But most things like this, most cheap things, mind you, are analog transmitters. And this particular one transmits on the 2.4 gigahertz band. This is a Packite branded receiver and transmitter. So that's what it is for what was going on for us.
Right. So at any rate, we have one issue with it, is if we have the camera outdoors, which that's what we want to do, we can go up to 150 meters away from wherever the receiver is.
It's advertised 150 meters. So.
Well, we're gonna go by what they advertise, because we're gonna be finding that out once we get to this point. And but there's one issue. We got to plug the transmitter into power. So what I'm gonna do now, because it runs on an AC/DC adapter, so you plug an adapter into the wall outlet, 120 volt wall outlet, and it reduces it down to 5 volts.
So it must have some sort of voltage regulator to help this out.
Well,
within the power outlet, the power adapter itself.
Right, the adapter that's just the transformer that transforms it into DC. And so at any rate, what we're going to do is we're going to just run on batteries out in the field. So since it's DC 5 volts, I have this battery for my little power drill that I have for work, and I'm going to just adapt it to that. So
So, by the way, the drill battery power is 7.2 volts as we've measured, and the power adapter, the power adapter cable, dumps it down to 5.2 volts. So it takes away 2 volts for.
No, the cable doesn't take away 2 volts.
Like the
inside
the regulator takes.
There's going to be a regulator inside of this transmitter that will regulate the voltage once it gets inside there. Generally speaking, most of your equipment it'll regulate down their voltage a little bit. You don't want to put something that's 25 volts onto something that's 5 volts, but if it's only 7 volts, we should be good. We're hoping we're good.
Yeah, we're hoping we're good.
So here we go. I hate even doing this, but I'm gonna have to clip this brand new cord in order to make our adapter for the battery. So I'll clip it a little bit so I can always resplice it.
There we go.
Chop. We clipped it. There goes however much money, but we can always splice it so that it isn't a total loss.
Yeah, it's not an absolute total loss.
Okay.
We're doing this for not waterproofing. Jeez. This went flying across. it just went like flying.
That's
across the table.
That's why they always tell you to wear safety glasses when you're working.
And they weren't kidding, because that thing almost hit my face.
Okay, so we got this. I think I kind of went over this once before with our other thing. There's a dotted line on here. Usually the one wire on that's the dotted line is usually your hot, so that's your positive DC, and the one that's not marked is usually the negative. So I got my battery lead here. I'm going to connect it up. The black will go to the one that's not marked.
Yeah.
And the red will go to the one that is marked. And just in case...
we'll be careful and not touch this.
Just in case I am wrong, I'm going to double check it.
Here, I'm just going to manually control the webcam here. Zoom it in.
Okay. I guess I can probably do it like this. Except for now the lead just popped off of the...
Great.
No wonder this thing's magnetic. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's just like
okay. Oh, that's wow. Pretty good job there, Dominic. Okay.
Yep.
Now we got our leads. We'll just double check. So the outside of this is the negative, and the inside should be the positive. And if it is, then we're good to go. And we're good to go.
It looks like 7.9 volts.
7.9 volts. It is a
DC.
7.2 volt DC battery, but a lot of times they'll be over. If you ever measure your car battery, they say they're 12 volts, and usually you measure it, and it's usually like about almost 12.5 to 13 volts.
Yeah.
So they're always a little bit more voltage until you get under load. Then it'll drop down.
Yeah, because that's just the thing a battery does.
So now we're gonna plug it in. This is what they call in the electronics field. This is what we call the smoke test.
Smoke test?
Smoke test. On a brand new thing, we're going to run a smoke test. But
I do watch a couple of retro computer enthusiasts, and they do say smoke test. So
well, that's what it is. It's
smoke test is complete,
okay.
And it's successful.
So far, it's successful.
We have done our test of the AV sender and receiver, and so I will be queuing that up right now.
So I can say, I can talk now?
Okay.
Alright. Anyway, we hooked up the battery and the system does work. What do you want me to say?
So, and then the GoPro's equipment, well, its Wi-Fi is currently interfering with the feed. So, and it does work when the GoPro is not on. The static that you're seeing right now is not really there when the GoPro's Wi-Fi is not on. So, yeah, that's basically what is going on right now with the GoPro's Wi-Fi and the receiver interfering with each other.
So I can say, I can talk now? Alright. Anyway, we hooked up the battery and the system does work. What do you want me to say?
So that was basically what it was. I'm not sure if it was looping right there, but it was. But anyway, that was our test. And on our without the GoPro's Wi-Fi on, it is very, very clear. Like there's little to no static on it, and rarely does it I think sometimes it gets like the weird static stuff on the screen. Not as much as what you saw in the recording, just a tiny bit of it.
Yeah, well, that was kind of crazy that Wi-Fi from the GoPro did that to it. But what are you gonna do?
Did.
So, well, at any rate, some of the other topics that we were going to talk about was viewership. We've had quite a few views now, and throughout the whole United States, we've had Missouri, Oklahoma, of course, plenty from Wisconsin. We've had Illinois, quite a few visits from there, and California. Where else in the United States do we get?
We got okay.
I think I already said most of them.
Well, let's go right to it before you spoil anything else.
I'm always spoiling stuff, aren't I, Dominic?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for this to load. Let's see. Yeah, it's doing that. Turn it off. So, let's go right to where our viewers are from. So let's start out with the world. Let's wait for it, cause we'll have to figure out a way to see what we can do to help ease some of the stress I'm putting on this laptop. So we have one view directly from India. I'm not sure if that's showing up on there. We have one view from India. We have one view from Lebanon, if I can hover over it. And then we got the rest of the views are coming from the United States. So the rest of the 121 views. And if we go into that, now this is not our Wi-Fi acting slow. It's just we're recording right now, and that's kind of maxing out the CPU for some reason. So when this loads, you can see we got 101 views from Wisconsin. The Illinois comes second with 13 views. We got 2 views from California. Let's see, 1 view from Oklahoma, 1 view from Missouri, and another view from Massachusetts. So, because I think there's no, I don't think there's more. Because if we switch to geography, just kind of wait for this, so you can see that Oregon, it says there's 0 views. So I'm wondering if it's just a random passerby that just got filtered out. So.
An unknown region in the U.S.
So I don't know what that was. We have no information at the U.S. state level for that. So.
Okay.
That's what it says.
But what I found was kind of interesting is we actually had a viewer from Lebanon.
Yeah,
in India, well, there's a lot of Indians are always doing weird stuff over there, but Lebanon, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. And did you want to try to? Can we show them on this map that we have on the wall?
Yeah. So obviously you can see right behind us is a map of the world. So basically you might get a vague idea of what we're doing. So if we get out of shot here, you can see we got the map of the entire world here. Now what we plan to do with this is that we're gonna do some like thumbtack or something and stick it where we had viewers from, and I feel like we should probably go down to the nearest state if any is available.
Right.
So basically we would be sticking one from way up here in Wisconsin, right up there, Illinois, California. I don't think we would be counting Oregon, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Massachusetts for the United States. Then we're gonna get Lebanon over here.
Lebanon, it's such a little tiny country right above Israel.
And then we'll be pinning India. So basically, as we get more and more views from new locations, we will be increasing the number of thumbtacks we have. And so that is what's up for our map.
Yep. So then that was one thing we wanted to talk about, and the other thing I wanted to just discuss was, you know, as you know, Grandpa Joe, I go to church and stuff, and this week here is the Mass of the Holy Family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, because we're still in the Christmas season. You know, a lot of people don't realize that we are still in the Christmas season, but we are. And you know, what does it take to be a holy family? You know, of course, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph are the holiest family of all, but what does it take to really be a holy family? And I was thinking about that, and I think that what would really make you a holy family, or what does make you a holy family, is the Ten Commandments. The two to really focus on would be thinking about the first commandment: love your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your strength, all your might. And then Jesus added another commandment, and love your neighbor as yourself. Well, that's to love your God, to love your Father, the Father in heaven. That is, I think, the most important. But then, of course, the next most important thing, it's the fourth commandment is to honor your mother and father, and that is so important. Just like right now, well, I'm his grandfather, but like Dominic here is honoring his grandfather by wanting to be with him, share time with him. Mm-hmm. And of course, to honor your mom and dad, to want to be with them and to share your lives with them. That is what helps to keep you a holy family, to do that. Let's see, I wrote down a couple other thoughts on that. That is the very beginning of trying to be a holy family.
Maybe you could kind of like get a close-up shot.
No, I don't need that. Okay. What else? I should have written down more of my thoughts on it, but that is the basis for being a holy family, is to honor your mother and father and your Father in heaven. Or else I had other thoughts on this, but now all of a sudden I lost them again.
It just escaped you.
Yep, they escaped me.
So
I'll get back to it in just a little bit once I remember them.
Next topic here on the show is that we are going to talk about a new setting here at the Grandpa Joe show, as you all obviously saw throughout the show today. So basically, what is going on is that we moved into a new studio. So basically, for the past 3 episodes that we've been filming in the kitchen, that was basically a temporary studio while this one was being set up and ideas were being cumulative about it. So if I go ahead and take the webcam off of its tripod mount, I'm going to switch to this so you can see. I mean, right now it's like a mess right now, especially with the wires all over there, but it's going to get cleaned up and filled up with other stuff.
Well, you don't want to really show the rest of the room because that's a mess too, because we just pushed everything over there to get all this.
Yeah. So yeah, so obviously we'll find something like kind of like to clean up this area, but right now, as you can see, that this is kind of like basically our mini studio. I'm kind of like selfing in this with a webcam. This is actually quite unique. So as you can see, this is our studio. It's kind of like the table, and then we got a little power brick down here.
Yeah, we don't need to see all that.
So we got kind of like our stuff over here, and then we got the laptop over here. It kind of looks mesmerizing, actually. Welcome back into the Grandpa Joe show. We have no other topics to discuss, so we're going to close out with our final thoughts. So this is what we're going to do for our final thoughts. Just as always, we are going to kind of like discuss whatever the heck that we want to discuss.
That is it.
In terms of thoughts.
Okay. Well, I had some closing thoughts. The one thing when we were talking about the Holy Family, and I think the number one thing that we got to think about is our Father in heaven. Just like our family here on earth, no matter how much you screw up, He wants you to be with Him, and so same thing here on earth. No matter how much you screw up, your family always wants you to be with them too. You're always in their hearts. So that's kind of what it takes to be holy. Always want to be with the Father. And that picture of the snail, that snail, I started thinking about that too. Here's the snail in the daylight, not just a candle lit inside of it. Well, anyway, I kept thinking about that snail.
And basically, we'll be doing our first live shot from the field. But for now, this is the Grandpa Joe show for December 30th, 2017, and now being shot with this outro being shot on New Year's Day 2018. And I hope you guys had a good New Year, and because we certainly did. But for now, this is Dominic Brosh and Joe Walensky signing off, and God bless.
Yeah, well, Happy New Year.
Yeah,
and God bless.
Happy New Year and God bless.
And God bless this whole new year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for now, this is Dominic Brosh and Joe Walensky signing off. Happy New Year and God bless.